Hello everybody, welcome to this episode of my tutorial videos. Today's topic is exceptions to indifference curve, that is corner equilibrium. In indifference curve technique of consumers behavior analysis, we have seen that the consumer reaches the equilibrium, that is he maximizes or optimizes satisfaction at the point of tangency between the indifference curve and the budget line. And at the point of tangency, the consumer is consuming both the commodities. That means he is spending his money income on two commodities. But there are exceptions to this. That means when the consumer does not consume two commodities, instead consumes only one commodity, that is he spends all his money on one commodity, then corner solution is said to have taken place. Right? Now, in indifference curve technique, we have seen that the point of tangency, that is the consumer's equilibrium, happens in between x and y axis, right? But in case of corner solution or corner equilibrium, the point of equilibrium is reached at the positive intercept of either x-axis or y-axis, depending upon the slope of the budget line, right? Now, corner solution can happen in case of convex indifference curves, concave indifference curves, straight line indifference curves, that is purely substitute commodities, and right angled indifference curve, that is when the goods are complementary to each other. Today's video will focus on corner equilibrium with convex indifference curves, right? Now, corner solution or corner equilibrium, that is the equilibrium of the consumer when he consumes only one commodity, happens when the consumer is either unwilling or he is unable to purchase one commodity. When he is unwilling, when he or she has developed a strict never say yes attitude to a commodity due to very poor past experience, as we see in case of some parents, very strict parents who never allow their children to eat candies. The candies is a strict no for those parents. So they never purchase candies for their children. And when the consumer is unable to consume one commodity, when the price of one commodity is so high that he cannot purchase that commodity, right? Now we will see how the corner solution is derived with convex indifference curves. Let me draw two diagrams. On x-axis we measure quantity of x as usual. And on y-axis we measure quantity of y. Right? Now, let this be the budget line in this diagram. Let AB is the budget line. And we draw three indifference curves like this. This is IC1, this is IC2, and this is IC3. You see, budget line AB intersects IC1 and meets IC2 at point A. So the consumer will not live here, because it is not a point of tangency, and with the same budget line he can move to a higher indifference curve, that is to IC2. So he will move to IC2. Now see, IC2 meets the budget line at point A. That means the consumer is spending this much of X and this much of Y and none of X. The consumer is spending OA units of Y by spending all his money on Y, and he is not purchasing even 1 unit of X. Now look at the slopes of the budget line and the indifference curves. In this case, you see, slope of budget line is greater than MRS XY. That is, let me write first slope of IC. Slope of IC. Slope of BL is more than slope of IC. Now what is slope of BL? That is PX divided by PY. So this is more than what? Slope of IC, that is MRS XY, which is MUX by MUY. Right? Now you see, PX by PY is more than marginal rate of substitution of X for Y. This means price of X is too high compared to the marginal utility of X to the consumer. So the consumer is rejecting X and purchasing only Y. So this is his equilibrium point. Here only Y is purchased. Correct? So when PX by PY is greater than MRS XY, then only Y is purchased. That is, the consumer is unwilling to sacrifice any quantity of Y to gain even 1 additional unit of X. Why so? Because PX is too high related to MUX. Okay. Right. Now look at this diagram. Say this is the budget line. Say CD. CD is the budget line. Now take 3 indifference curves, convex indifference curves. Okay, this is IC1, this is IC2, and this is IC3. Now budget line CD intersects IC1 and meets IC2 at point D. Living within this budget line CD, consumer can move to higher indifference curve IC2. So he will move to higher indifference curve IC2. You see, here the consumer is equilibrium at this point. That means he is purchasing only X and none of Y, that is 0 of Y. Now look at the slopes of budget line and indifference curve IC2. Here you see PX by PY is less than MRS XY, that is MUX by MUY. Okay, this means to the consumer, price of X is too low compared to the MUX, that is marginal utility of X. So as a rational consumer, he will sacrifice more and more Y to gain more and more X. Isn't it? Because MUX is higher than PX. So he will go on purchasing more of X and less of Y until he reaches this point where he purchases only X and zero quantity of Y. So here only X is purchased. Condition is this: Px by Py is less than MRS XY. That is marginal rate of substitution of X for Y. So this is the cornered solution or cornered equilibrium, which is certainly an exception to indifference curve analysis and technique, where the consumer is maximizing his satisfaction by consuming only one commodity because he is either unwilling to purchase another commodity or he is unable to purchase another commodity. Okay, in this case, budget line, the slope of budget line is more than the slope of IC. So the consumer purchases only Y and does not purchase even 1 unit of X. That is, his whole money is spent on purchase of Y. In this case, slope of budget line is less than slope of indifference curve. The consumer reaches maximum satisfaction by consuming only X and consuming zero of Y. These are the two cornered solutions or cornered equilibriums with convex indifference curves. Now, cornered solution can be derived with straight line indifference curves, right angled indifference curves, and concave indifference curves. So in this video, we have only learned the cornered solution or cornered equilibrium when the indifference curve is convex. We shall learn cornered equilibrium or cornered solutions with concave indifference curves, straight line indifference curves, and right angle indifference curves in some other videos. Okay? Yeah. So this is enough for this video. I believe you have enjoyed this video. Please be in touch. Please do like and subscribe our channel so that we get motivated and can send you better quality and useful videos. Okay? Thank you for watching. Goodbye. Stay well.